is up, everybody? It has been a while. Uh, yeah, I don't even know what to say. It just been a while, and cause I didn't. It's funny how as you get older, time seems to just go by so much faster. Like it's like, oh well, I'll get around to doing. I've been doing other things. Like I started going back to school. I had like a really bad allergic reaction, so I don't know where that came from. I had to go to the hospital because I didn't know what was happening. I mean, I knew it was an allergic reaction, but I'm not allergic to anything. At least I didn't used to be. But then I found out, like, oh, you can develop allergic reactions to things. Uh, so like, I still get tests running, but I think I might be allergic to shrimp. So, which is funny. I used to eat shrimp all the time, especially when I was younger. My dad used to put shrimp in like gumbo and stuff he used to make, and now I'm like, like it didn't have it wasn't as bad as the first time I had a reaction to some shrimp. I thought it was just bad shrimp or old shrimp or something. But this one was like tongue started tingling. Because last time my tongue didn't tingle, it was like my face swelled up. But my tongue didn't tingle. This time my tongue started tingling, my throat felt weird. I was like, my throat trying to close up. It didn't really close up, but I started feeling really weak and tired. Um, and then, but that only lasted for like pretty much about the same time as the last reaction, like 30 minutes. Probably not that long this time. But then I ended up getting the flu. So not COVID, but the flu. Just the old regular old flu. They used to kill people all the time as well. But actually it still kills people. But yeah, it just and then it felt like, oh, I haven't reacted to anything like a couple weeks. I was like, it's been over a month. It's like, jeez. I was like, I am not staying consistent with that. And then I was planning on reacting to like Halloween stuff, and I didn't. I'm filming this on Halloween night. Like, what is it? Was it like like 34 minutes before it's November 1st. But it doesn't matter because we can have spooky November. They used to do that. I remember back in the day they had they would show like uh like marathons of like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street in November, and it'd be like spooky November or stuff like that. Or I remember they had Bondathon during like Thanksgiving week and stuff like that. They show all the James Bond movies all day. But yeah, I remember when they started doing it. So I'm gonna do that. I think I said this last year, probably, because I did the same thing. But anywho, because I know this probably won't be edited by tomorrow. So, but what do we got here? Okay, I think this is from Mr. Nightmare. It's 3 creepy true student horror stories. So I was like, oh well, I started going back to school. 8th time's the charm. So I figured might as well go ahead and take a look at it. I wish I could use my wireless earphones or I guess earbuds, but sometimes it has like an interference where the sound will stop for like a second or two, and I hate that. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's something interfering. Maybe it's something plugged in that's interfering with it, because it doesn't happen all the time. So I don't know. I try to unplug stuff and do it to test, and then plug stuff back in, and then sometimes it doesn't do it at all. Sometimes it does it. That's what like. So I don't know. It's just like almost like it's random But anyway, also I don't have to charge them with these. I do get like plug-in earbuds, but they don't reach as far. But anyway, here we go.
Before getting into today's stories, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. Fume will become a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. It fills the void in a natural, guilt-free way. You won't feel left out as your friends are reaching for their bad habits. Fume isn't like vaping. It draws flavor to your mouth without the vapor and contains no nicotine, so it's not addictive.
I've seen this.
All flavors are non-toxic. My favorite part is it requires no batteries.
I don't smoke, so
plus the piece looks really cool and is fun to hold and fidget with.
Even though it's not like a cigarette, but I used to smoke Black and Milds when I was in my 20s.
For a limited time,
that's because I used to smoke when I used to drink.
Your free topper. It's the perfect accessory to your Fume device. Slip it into the mouthpiece for
I haven't smoked.
Warmer feel. It's chewable.
I smoked the last Black and Milds I had. I think like 6 years ago that I still had in my glove compartment. I said I had these. I bought these years ago because I just smoked them instead of just throwing them away.
I wasn't very social in college. I didn't get good grades. I wasn't in a frat. I didn't have a girlfriend, and I wasn't very involved in anything. I wasn't a very happy kid. I'm not complaining though. I found a loyal girl who would never stop fighting for me in my late 30s. My life is good now. We live together with 2 cats, Blue and Raz, and I'm planning on proposing soon. Like I was saying though, I wasn't in a frat, so generic frat parties were kind of off the table for me. I still wanted to have fun though. I mean, who wouldn't? My friends Bryson and Ian were in the same boat. We spent most weekends killing time in Bryson's dorm. That being said, we took every chance we got when it came to parties.
I never had a dorm. Any college I went to
were off campus.
That had dorms. I didn't have
with any of the frats or the school.
Did not want to pay for it. Shit.
One time we actually drove over an hour just to go to a party. It's safe to say we were
hell no. Well, I shouldn't say
Friday afternoon, Ian texted the group chat saying the girl he was talking to knew of a party not that far away. Ian tended to attract the strangest girls. I'm sure you know the ones I'm talking about. Bryson joked that he didn't want to go to some death metal
strange. Well, like, yeah, I was like,
I kind of agreed with.
Goth chicks.
Ian was
goth chicks are great,
and convinced us that this would be a normal party. It's not like we had anything better going on. Bryson convinced his brother Chris to be our designated driver. Chris didn't drink anyway and said he'd be down for a party, so everything was looking good.
That all worked out.
Party, Ian started complaining about the girl he was talking to. He said she hadn't answered him in hours, which honestly wasn't too surprising considering the kind of guy Ian was. He was actually pretty torn and said he was having second
I've been there.
Even going, which seemed like.
Well, they text you back and forth if it seemed good, and also they stop texting you, and then they text you back the next morning or the next afternoon. It's like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. And I was like, it's cool. It's cold. Cause you still trying to get laid, so you're like, it's cool. And then you never get laid. At least by that person. Well, I wasn't like that. I was just like, it was always like a friendly thing. It's like, hey, we going in, and it's like, oh, I fell asleep or something like that. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've done that. Supposed to go somewhere, then I start chilling with somebody else or some other friends of mine and completely forget. And but oh shit, it's like 3 a.m. It's I was like, I was supposed to meet them at like 10, and they texted me. I didn't, and because I still do have my phone on vibrate because I used to work in the office, so I didn't want to disturb people, so I always have it on vibrate, and I kind of still do that because I don't know if it's since I went when I went to Afghanistan, I don't like loud noises like shocking me. Like of alarm, like even the alarm I have when I cook, like it's a alarm that's very calming it comes on slowly. Like it builds up and gets louder. It's not like a alarm that shocks. Which when I have to get up to go to work, I got an alarm like that because it jolts me away. But I hate it, and I'm like, well, I need that to get up. So, but I hate it every time because it like shocks me, and and I don't know, that started like when I got back from Afghanistan. I don't know, because bombings or what, I don't know, but yeah, this yeah, I've been there though, where you calling them, and they're like, you invited me somewhere, and then you start responding, it's like, oh, but they actually do. You like, maybe they actually did go to sleep, or maybe they were having fun, and they just like I said, I was having fun, and I was missing a call or the text. Same thing could have happened, but then you link up again, hopefully.
An overreaction. We were already 30 minutes deep, so we weren't just gonna go turn around and go home. We told him to suck it up and not let it ruin the night.
I've done that.
After a few more minutes,
around like 45 minutes,
but profile disappeared from
turn
his
around
phone altogether. We broke it to him that he had been blocked, and she probably decided to go to the party with someone else.
Okay, that's not, you fucked up.
Pouted for the rest of the drive.
She blocked you.
When we reached the party, we instantly knew we'd made the right choice.
He said something stupid.
The house was massive, especially compared to the rest of the houses on the block. Ian didn't want to go in just yet, saying he needed a buzz to take his mind off the situation. Bryson and I didn't object to drinking. So we told Chris to park a little further down the street.
I need a little high.
Outside the car. We killed a few of the beers we had brought with us and watched as people entered the house in droves. It honestly looked like a pretty lit party. Once Ian was satisfied with his buzz, the four of us started making our way over to the house. As soon as we stepped inside, I could tell something was off. For starters, all the lights were on, like there was no ambient lighting throughout the entire house. Just the bright overhead lights.
Anytime I'm going to a house, I've been invited to a party, and I went to someone's house I didn't know, I always took like my knife with me, because I didn't have a gun or anything like that. I always took my knife with me, or when I get my retractable baton. Something where I didn't just have just my hands, because I don't know what might pop off. I have been at people's houses where, arguments start to happen and people start pushing people, and even that happened with me, where people was disrespecting friends of mine that I came with, and they knew each other. I didn't know them, but they knew each other, and they started disrespecting them, and it pissed me off. And me being me, I said something, and then they tried to get in my face. I guess they thought I was gonna back down. I was like, I don't give a damn. It was like 6 of y'all. I'll whoop all y'all. You don't know me, especially back then in my 20s. Oh man. Oh, I was a trip.
You'd expect to be off at a college party. Most of the people there were very nicely dressed. Not what you'd expect people to wear at a rowdy party. The scene looks more like a fancy dinner party than
It's probably not a rowdy party.
Maybe that's what it was. After all, we didn't really have any details about what we were walking into. We didn't look too out of place, but the clothing differences were definitely...
Wait a minute. I feel like... I know I'm keep pausing, but... They were invited to this party by the girl that was talking to the other guy. The girl stopped talking to the guy, and he said her profile disappeared off of his phone, which is interesting. So she blocked him, which I'm like, wait a minute. If someone blocks my number, I don't think I've never been blocked like that, but I don't think number disappears from your phone. Like if you put their phone number in your phone, now when you call them, it's gonna go it's probably just going, the call just going in. Like I said, I've never called, no one's ever blocked me, so I don't know if it says I don't think it says you've been blocked. I think it wouldn't even go to voicemail. The call would just end. Probably after like 1 or 2 rings, I would think. But you were invited to this party by this girl. She blocks this dude. It's not even like she's not answering. He thinks she blocks it because he said her profile disappeared from his phone or something. So you like, well, we already 30 minutes in, just go. You and y'all been drinking, so I know how that goes. I would be weird if somebody invited me to go somewhere with them to someone else's house, a house party, and then me and them have some. I'm assuming they had some type of disagreement or argument or something, and she blocks you. Why would I wouldn't still go. But that's just me, you know. It wouldn't matter even if I was there and I pulled up and I was just like, and then we had that argument. And I saw she blocked me. I would just leave because like I wouldn't want to run into her there, you know, because now it'd be awkward. Like I just leave. Now I know he had friends with him. They probably like, hey man, let's just go. So it's probably peer pressure because it sounded like the guy didn't want to go.
Noticeable. The music was also bizarre. They weren't playing trap.
And did he say the guy didn't go in?
The usual party music. Instead, they were playing some kind of ethereal, almost druggy music. I'm not really sure what genre it was or how to describe it, but none of the songs had any words, just instruments.
Sound like you at a swingers party or some shit.
My friends and I looked at each other, trying to make sense of what was going on. We drilled Ian for details, but he said he was just as clueless as we were. The four of us walked around a little, exploring the house.
That looked like the couch I used to have years ago.
So we helped ourselves. A few minutes in, I started noticing people catching my eye and then immediately looking away. It was actually so apparent that I started wondering if there was something in my teeth. I figured I was just getting
They're
looks
probably looking at like, who the hell are you doing here?
It didn't make sense to me at the time. The four of us were honestly having a good time, despite the weird atmosphere. Actually, I take that back. Chris was pretty bored and said he was going to go smoke in his car. We figured it was because he didn't have a drop of alcohol in him. A few minutes after he left, a group of girls approached us. We definitely weren't super confident, so getting approached was a new thing. The three of them started flirting with us almost immediately, like it wasn't even subtle. They joked about an entrance fee, which I thought was funny until I saw that they were being serious. They were holding a bottle of tequila, which we definitely weren't going to turn down. Without much thought, and not wanting to appear uncool, we swigged the bottle. After that point, the six of us stuck together, drinking, talking, and occasionally dancing. It was going really well. At one point, I noticed a weird mark on Tina's neck.
That's another thing. When I've gone to parties with people I don't know, even if it's like I was invited and so this one person that I know is there, I never get drunk. Like I drink and I get, as soon as I started to feel a little tipsy, I'm like, okay, cut it off. Because like I don't know these people. I never get sloppy drunk around people I don't know. Because you don't know what will happen. People do some weird shit. I've seen people do shit like, of course, they do the classic thing like draw dicks on people's faces and stuff like that. But I heard some people do stuff like, well, I'm like, why? It's always fun. I was like, why do you gotta get homoerotic? I was like, why you always? It's always a dude. Someone just like pull his pants down. So like, or like put up like something in his ass crack or something. It's like no, like get a hot dog and like put it in his mouth. So it's like just draw a dick on his face like a normal person and let it in there.
It was a short but solid green line that looked like it had been drawn on in Sharpie. The line was pretty thin, and I probably wouldn't have noticed it had I not been standing so close to her.
They're familiar.
I asked her about it, but decided against it to avoid potentially offending her. It might have been a birthmark or something like that.
A straight line.
Once I had seen it, though, I couldn't unsee it. It just looked so unnatural, and green of all colors. Who wears green makeup? It couldn't have been a makeup smear.
I seen green, dark green lipstick.
With her, wondering where things would end up. Eventually, I saw Bryson and the girl he was with begin to wander off upstairs, which I was happy about. Pretty soon afterwards, I noticed Ian and his girl also walking towards the stairs. I was nervous to ask Tina anything suggestive because I didn't want to mess anything up. Despite the alcohol, I could feel myself getting really anxious and sweaty, so I told Tina I was going to the bathroom and that I'd be right back. The only bathroom I could find was occupied, so I stood outside the door and waited. Eventually, the door opened and a really tall, older-looking guy wearing a white button-down and linen pants stepped out. I rushed into the bathroom and he bumped into me. I turned around and kind of expected him to apologize, but he just stood there, staring at me. It was the strangest thing. He just stood there with this blank look, sizing me up. I was about to say something.
You want to get your ass whooped more?
The same green line
Vampire
I'd seen on
bite.
Tina. It was literally identical.
Yeah, vampire bite.
Against my better judgment, I asked him what his problem was. He smirked and shook his head before saying, "Who invited you?" Not knowing how to answer that, I blurted out, "Callista."
You look like
Girl
you
that
don't
had
look
stood
like
on
you
the
belong
end.
here.
He chuckled and looked up, like he knew who I was talking about. He looked back at me, his smile completely gone now. In a low voice, he repeated her name before gesturing around the party. "Do you see Callista here?" I didn't know how to respond to that, so I just slammed the door in his face.
I mean, he is making a good point. He like, Callista, what do you say, is not here. Why would you come here? It's like, that's what, like, if someone, now she didn't tell you not to come, but she just kind of, like he said, they think that they blocked him. She stopped responding. And then that would be me. Like, even if it wasn't like, oh, I thought she blocked me, it's like, oh, maybe she's, talking or something and she didn't see the text. So you go anyway. As soon as I go in there, I'm looking for the friend that invited me. If I don't see them, unless this type of party was like, hey, it's kind of lit and it seems like very inviting. If it's not like that, I'm leaving. Which this does not seem all that inviting, except for the women that walked up to them and they start flirting with them. So, dude, if a woman start flirting with you unprompted, you like, dudes already get their pants halfway undone. they like, oh wait, my woman came up to me and just start flirting with me. Oh, whatever she says, I'm gonna do, because I think this is one way I'm gonna get laid. Like, we do some stupid shit. Like, I never done nothing quite like this, and I got a party anyway. But I mean, I've done shit that cost me money, like took courses, like college courses, because I met a hot chick in the enrollment office, and she said, like, oh, we talked about what we majoring in, and she here to get a class, and what class, she told me what class she in. I took a class called Men and Women in Society or something like that. I took that class solely for that reason, because I met a pretty girl in the enrollment office, and she told me she was taking that class, and I took that class. The class had nothing to do with my degree, well, like what I was majoring in, because I was majoring in at the time I was majoring in business administration. It had nothing to do, I don't even remember what she was majoring in, but it was literally called Men and Women in Society, and it was not required to get my degree. And then turns out the girl took it, because first she took it she was taking it at a different time than me, but then she ended up changing, and we ended up in the same class. So I was like, oh, that was because at first I was in that class just like, I was thinking myself, this is some bullshit. Like, it was which was funny, because it was some cute girls in that class, which ended up, funny enough, all the other guys in the class end up dropping it. I think it was more women in the class than men, but every dude besides me, well, at first it was just me, every other guy dropped the class besides me. And then one guy, well, at least I thought, then one guy came back, and apparently he had some family emergency or something that he had to go to, and he was gone for like 2 weeks. He came back, and then he ended up dropping the class after he said he was there for like, I think another 3 weeks or something like that, and he dropped the class. I'm like, and then it ended up being just me in the class with just a bunch of women, which is funny enough. The class kind of turned into women, almost like a men versus women type thing, where they were talking about a lot of issues that men present or men cause in society, and then it almost was like they almost put me in a place where I was supposed to defend men and what men are doing in society and stuff like this. So it was like a men versus woman thing, but I'm the only dude. It's like, so I was sitting there like trying to like, cause then it was like, well, like, cause then it felt weird. Like, man, ain't that bad. Like, it's like we do a lot of good things. It's like, yeah, we do a lot of bad things too, but we do a lot of good things. I mean, I didn't turn into some red pill type dude. But it was like, it started to become very antagonistic almost, but to a point where it wasn't too like crazy. It wasn't like some online shit because we were in person, so people didn't get too crazy. It wasn't. No one was disrespecting anybody type thing like that. Because it's like people say all types of shit online because they think they have some anonymity and they can hide behind they computer. But we in the classroom talking to people, you gotta, you don't know how this person gonna react. So it was people being very kind of a lot more careful what they say. I mean, they were speaking how they felt, but in a respectful way. But let me finish this video. I'm making this video way longer.
I couldn't get over what he said or that green mark on his neck. Part of me regretted not asking him more questions about what the hell was
He's a
going
familiar.
on. I left the bathroom looking for him.
He tells me, I tell you, Blade about to show up in like 30 minutes.
Up like I didn't belong. I didn't care though. I was gonna find my friends and drag them out of here.
Oh.
While wandering around the party, I couldn't stop thinking about that.
I thought he was about to say, I didn't care though. I was about to find that girl and get laid.
Green mark. I started looking closely at people's necks, trying to see if anyone else had a mark on their neck.
Then I was the vampire.
I actually saw 2 more people with the green lines on their necks. They were all the same color, same length, same thickness, same everything. It was freaky.
That's interesting.
I kept looking for that guy, all the while analyzing people's necks. Most people weren't marked up, but I kept catching glimpses of green lines on various people's necks. I was starting to freak out, so I made my way to the stairs, looking for my friends. Thankfully,
it sounds like a sex party.
Bryson and Ian were walking down. I urged the 2 of them to follow me, and I brought them to an empty hallway so we could talk. I briefly told them about my theory and said we had to leave immediately. They burst out laughing and told me I was just drunk. Bryson told me I was just jealous because they had hooked up and I didn't. I asked him where his girl had gone, and he told me she had instructed him to meet back upstairs in 20 minutes.
Instructed
said
him?
His girl told him the same thing. There was no reasoning with these 2. They were riding the high of a hookup.
Yeah.
I told them to follow me and
Men.
then prove that people had strange marks on their necks.
Trying to get their dick
They
wet.
weren't budging. Just when I was about to give up, Ian turned to the side. What I saw was actually horrifying. There was a thin line on his neck, only this one was red, not green. I practically screamed at him, which actually got them to listen to me.
You should have just told him we leaving. Oh, you want to leave you here?
There was a red mark on his too. Ian told me to relax and that it was probably just a makeup stain, but Bryson started to believe me. I told them we were leaving, and Bryson and I turned to find the door. Ian still wouldn't leave, saying he wanted to meet back up with the girl. Just then, a random guy walked past us, eyeing each of us up separately. He didn't say anything, but paused long enough for us to notice the green line on his neck. That was it. Bryson and I rushed for the door with Ian close behind. I felt like everyone there was staring at us as we left, but no one moved to stop us. We ran to Chris's car and told him to drive. As we were leaving, both Ian and Bryson's phones started blowing up. Those girls were asking why we had left. How could they have even
Why'd you
that?
leave? The fun's just begun.
Everyone I tell this story to has their own crazy theory about what happened that night. I really don't know what to think about it, but I don't think I want to know what might have happened had that guy not tipped me off.
To me, this seems like you were at a sex party. They had the lines on the necks for people who, reoccurring people, guests. and the red lines for new people. So they go like, okay, because one time I was invited to a sex party. I had just moved to, well, technically, I went to school in St. Louis, but I just moved to Maryland Heights, Missouri, which is technically in St. Louis County. And I was going to school, I was going to college at St. Louis Community College at Forest Park. And the first, was this the, yeah, because this was the first semester. No, it wasn't. I'm tripping because I did one semester there, and then I went to Florida for 9 months, and I was still doing the Disney internship thing, so I was still going to class. Then I came back, and immediately met someone and started dating someone. Then we ended up breaking up because I was going in the military, and then we just a big thing. We ended up breaking up after like 3 months or something like that. And then I thought I was supposed to go into basic training in, I think it was October, but then it was August actually. I thought I was supposed to go August. And then he was like, "You're not supposed to go August." I was like, "You told me August." He's like, "I told you August." I was like, "I could have went and took another semester, dude." I was like, "You told me August." I remember you telling me. I wrote it down while I was sitting there talking to you. I repeated it to you, and you said August. But I was like, whatever. Then I was supposed to go in October. Ended up getting sick. Didn't go. I was sick for a while too, and I had mono, and didn't go. Then I ended up not going until March of 08. But in that time, and it was I think it was in July, I was invited because it was a girl going to the same school, maybe in the same class. No, it wasn't July. It was July. It was July because I decided to go in the summer. Cause I was like, oh, I go in the summer. It's like that way I get closer to getting my degree. And she was cool, she was a nice looking girl. I remember I was like, man, because she always wore like these little skirts. I was like, when she walked in the classroom, I was like, she was walking. I was like, And we ended up, because she sat near me, we ended up being like in groups a lot. Could end up being in a group and just being in a group with the people, right next to you. We ended up talking like that. She invited me to a sex party. And she was like, oh, we live, because she lived right actually down the street from the school. That's this brownstone. And I remember when she invited me, she was like, technically, new people have to bring, well, she said, well, really, she said new people, but then she was like, well, men have to bring, a woman. Because they was like, I guess they had rules was like, you got to bring a woman rather than a guy bringing another guy. It's like, you got to bring a woman. So, but she said, but since I'm invited, because she was the one throwing it, that she like, when you come up there, ask for me. She's like, they'll come get me, and then I'll bring you in, and you ain't gotta, you don't have to bring anybody. Because I was like, I don't know any girl like that would come to, because she was open, like what type of party it was, stuff like that. She wasn't like she was trying to hide anything. I was like, okay. And I had never been there, so I was like, hey, it's something to experience, and I don't have to do anything. I was like, I'm sure that I can't just sit there, and I wouldn't just sit there and just watch people. So I was like, maybe. I was like, you think get in the mood, I'm 20-year-old guy. I was like, hey, I don't know, So I said, maybe in the moment I might do something. I was like, I don't know, because it's not like you having sex or you being recorded like a porno. It's like everyone doing kind of their own thing. People, at least that's what I thought. I chickened out and didn't go in. I went to the place because first I was thinking I'm about to get robbed. I said, "There's some shit that she like a attractive woman is luring me into a place where I'm going to get robbed or beat up or something." But no, I went to the place. I parked outside, and I looked up, and it was the place. It was a party going on. You could see people standing outside. You could see people inside. They had lights inside. You see people like walking past the windows and stuff. So people dancing. You could see them moving this outside. So people was outside in the like on the sidewalk and stuff. I was like, so it was a party going on. So it was pretty obvious. But I just sat there and I was just like, should I go in here? And I was like, I was sitting there like had a whole conversation with myself for like, I don't know, like 10, 20 minutes. And then a police car like drove by like within the first like couple minutes. And then that same police car, because I recognized the number on the side, drove by again. Well, it was like on the top. Drove by again, and then it parked on the other side of the street, like parallel park. And I was like, why you saying? And then I was just like, all right, I just left. And then I remember texting her. I was like, because I parked kind of far away. Well, I probably like 3 houses down. Because at first I drove past the place and I was looking. I said, yeah, that's the place. And I circled the block and came back around because it's a one-way street. And I was sitting there and I parked where I could. So I parallel parked. It was like 3-4 houses down thing. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I remember texting her. I was like, because she texted me actually. She was like, where you at? 'Cause I told her I was on my way. And I said, oh, something came up. And because I told her, I said, my dad needed to use the car. Even though my dad had his own car. Well, he had a van. And I was using the other car. So it wasn't that. But it was just like, oh, he wanted to use the car and I can't do it right now and stuff like that. So she was like, oh, I was looking forward to you coming. I was like, yeah. And I was like, why did I see you at school? And then the thing is, she never brought it up again about going to any party or anything like that. So I was like, well, because I was like, if she brings it up again, I said, maybe I'll go. Maybe I get the nerve. But it never came up again. Plus, that was like close to the end of the class anyway. I think we only had like another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, by the end of that class. So, and then I didn't take another class, and I'm going in the military, so I ain't never saw her again. Talking about that was like 17 years ago.
Civil engineering at Purdue University. I actually started a few months ago. I was in a good place, all things considered.
Purdue.
Classes were going well. I made a couple friends, and the apartment I found was decently priced. The landlord was
that in
pretty
Illinois?
sketchy, though. I had a car and lived pretty far away from campus, but I liked driving. The only downside, it was a sketchy part of town.
I like a nice campus.
About that. I'm a guy in my mid-20s, so I figured I could handle myself. Yeah, things were a little boring,
you think?
but I was there for a degree and not a party. Everything was pretty normal.
You sound like my
until the
brother.
day my backpack got stolen. I had left it on a table in a random hall to go to the bathroom like an idiot. By the time I got back, it was gone. Of course, that specific lecture hall didn't have cameras, so there was literally nothing I could do. I was more annoyed than anything. My wallet, keys, and laptop were in there. I had to cancel my cards and get new ones, report my keys missing to the landlord, and start looking for a replacement laptop.
Damn.
The whole thing.
Got your ass.
Sucks, but things happen. It wasn't until a few days later that I realized the situation was 1,000 times
Why'd you
worse
put
than I
that
had
down?
anticipated. I drove home from campus one morning to find a handwritten note slipped under my door. I figured it was just a reminder for my
There is no way I would put my backpack down if it had my wallet and a laptop and my keys in it. There's no way I'll put it down. I'm not taking it off. If they like, you gotta go into a building, they're like, oh, you gotta take your backpack off and check it in or something like that. I ain't going in that building. I will go back home and leave that stuff there and then go back. Only way I would do that is if it's something like I had to go more than an hour somewhere. So it's more than an hour, uh, one way. But that's like I was nowhere I would leave. Because I mean I go to class now. I don't take my laptop or anything with me. I just like I kind of do old school like I used to. I just write down everything. Even though I got a tablet, I could just use that, which I don't know why I don't. But it's funny because I don't want people to see me with stuff to be like, oh, he got tablet or he got laptop. I don't even like pulling my phone out. I just like I don't like people seeing me with a lot of stuff. Could be like I feel like I could be making myself a target. But then I mean, people probably don't give a shit, and they'll rob you regardless. They don't need to see it.
And learned about something, but I was dead wrong. When I opened it up, it just said, "I see you." No name, no signature.
I see you.
Just those 3 words.
I'd have been like, I'd have rolled CD's nuts.
Together. Whoever had stolen my backpack had gone through my laptop somehow and figured out where I lived. That was terrifying enough, but just then I had a thought that was so much worse. Whoever had stolen my backpack had my apartment keys. I felt my skin starting to itch, and I looked over my shoulder, half expecting to see someone there. I ran into my apartment and slammed the door shut.
I see
so
you.
even if someone did try to break in, they wouldn't be able to get past that. Over the next week, I got more notes, all handwritten.
I know what you did.
Long, just weird
I know what you did last summer.
Or watch yourself.
I saw you masturbate.
Starting to freak me out.
What?
I had never done anything wrong, really.
I like watching
Someone
you.
had gone through my laptop. Who knows what they could have found?
I'd be like, won't you come on in?
We're going to the police.
Just leave the door open. I just sit in the corner with a knife.
Whoever was messing with me would get bored. One night, I was getting ready for bed when I noticed something. It was dark outside and my blinds were half closed, but I could have sworn I saw a flash, like someone took a picture of me. I quickly pulled the blinds down, but my heart was racing. There was no one there. Things didn't stop there. I started noticing small things around my apartment, things being moved. At first, I thought I was just being careless. My shoes would be in a different spot, or my coat would be draped over the chair instead of.
Oh my god! You didn't change the locks. I could
explain away if I really tried. But then, one day, I came home to find my bed sheets stripped off and my room completely turned upside down. My dresser drawers were pulled out.
Yeah, that's like, why'd you change the locks?
It looked like someone had torn through the place. I called the cops, of course, but they didn't do much. No forced entry, nothing stolen.
Yeah, because
so
they have your key.
Not much they could do, apparently. I asked my landlord to change the locks, but he said it would take at least 2 days to get someone out.
Oh, your landlord ain't shit.
Sooner, but he shrugged it off, saying it wasn't an emergency.
It is an emergency.
How in the world could this guy not think that this was an emergency? I kept pressuring him to do something, but he eventually stopped answering, no matter what I said.
Okay.
That was literally yesterday as I'm writing.
I'd have went to his house or wherever he's at.
I all last night, even though I was safe with the deadlock in place. I'm thinking of changing the locks myself, but I'm not sure how I could even do that without causing expensive damage. I called out of all my classes this morning because I'm afraid to leave my room.
I'd have stayed at a motel, a cheap motel, until they got changed.
Whoever it is, if they come back. I'm sure if they went through my laptop, they would know my class schedule. Maybe I'll hide somewhere and get the jump on them if they try to enter while I'm supposed to be in class.
What the fuck you think you are?
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll give an update when I can.
Like I said, I would do that, but that's me. I know me. Like you talking about, I remember my heart somewhere and get the jump on. Like you gonna get your ass whooped. You don't know who. Like I mean, this could be just like some weird coward, but because clearly they just fucking with you. They coming in when you're not there, tearing up your place. I like how you tell your landlord, hey, somebody stole my keys. They came in my apartment and wrecked the place. Can you change the lock? He's like, oh, we'll get somebody out in like 2 days. And then you're like, no, we need somebody sooner. Because this person has my key and has been in my apartment and they've been leaving me letters. And now I think they've been in my apartment multiple times. But now they're getting violent because they just wrecked shit in my room. It's like, dude, you need to change the locks. And like, I'm like, okay. I've been like, I said, well, I guess you can't you can't you can't whoop the landlord's ass. But that given me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay at a cheap motel for the next couple days. It's 2 days. Just be like, hey, and then go back. And before you check out, like, go back, get to talk to or call the landlord. Like, hey, did you change the locks? And then come back. Or I would refuse paying rent for those two days. I'm like, dude, I told you somebody has been in here and they've wrecked my place. Clearly, they have ill intent for me, or ill intent towards me. You need to change these locks now. You need to be like, this is an emergency. You can't stop pretending like this is just like, oh, whatever. It's not that bad. Like, if I get killed in here, she's like now you gotta worry about, like, hey, you gotta tell people, hey, somebody got killed in this apartment.
I've been having an ongoing issue that I can't keep to myself anymore. I had just broken up with my boyfriend of 2 years, Ben. It wasn't a bad breakup, but it wasn't great either. We'd been arguing for months, and it was obvious things weren't going to work out. So, when we finally ended things, I thought it was for the best. I blocked him on everything, and that was that. I go to Temple University, and I live in this small apartment near campus. It's on the second floor of an older building, which means I can hear pretty much everything going on outside. A few days after the breakup, I started hearing strange noises at night. Not like regular city sounds, these were different. Footsteps, quiet shuffling, like someone was just outside my window. At first, I figured it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Eventually, though, I came to terms that it was probably my ex. The reason I wasn't really freaking out was because Ben was one of the sweetest and most harmless guys there was. I mean that in a nice way, like he'd never do anything drastic or anything to hurt me. I figured he just missed me.
Ben was one of the most sweetest, nicest guys ever. But he's also the type of guy that would hang around my fucking window at night. Like, what? That doesn't seem like a sweet, nice, innocent person. Oh, he's just taking a breakup hard. Listen, I've been through breakups. I don't go fucking around at my ex's house at night, stalking around her window trying to, like, look in. Like, no. Stop giving this dude, like, oh, he's so nice, but it's probably he's the breakup was just hard on him. Like, fuck out of here with that shit. Like, no.
So I decided to let it go. Eventually, he'd get bored. Plus, I was already stressed from the breakup, and I had this huge group project due. That project is actually a huge component to the story. I was the one responsible for editing the project and sending it to our professor. I worked on it all night, making sure everything was perfect. I emailed it just before midnight. Relieved to have it done, I went to bed, trying not to think about all the other things going wrong in my life. The next day in class, we were supposed to present the video. My professor plugged in his laptop and pulled up the file I'd sent. I was nervous.
Did someone fuck with the file?
I had a lot of experience with Adobe products, and I knew our video was probably a cut above all the other groups. And then the video started playing, and my stomach dropped. It wasn't our project. Instead, there was this grainy video of someone wearing a scream mask. The person wasn't just sitting there, they were talking. They were saying horrible things about me, my professor, the government. It was disgusting. I don't even want to read what was said. That's how sick it was. My professor let the video play out a little longer than he should have, probably because he was also in shock. When he did pause it, though, his face was pale. I was frozen in place. I have never been so mortified in my life. I was literally frozen. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't. I could barely breathe. I felt hundreds of eyes on me. The rest of the class was staring at me. I knew what they were thinking. After the most painful seconds of my life,
this chick
I snapped
crazy.
out of my humiliation and burst out into tears before running out of the lecture hall. I felt a panic attack coming on. I debated going home, but I knew I'd definitely get expelled if I just left. Reluctantly, I waited outside the building for the class to end before approaching my professor. I basically pleaded with him that I had no idea what happened, that I was positive I had sent the right video. He decided to hear me out and confirmed that 2 videos had been sent. The first one was my project, and the more recent one was the one he played in class. Clearing
So
things up with the
he didn't
university
look at
took a
him
lot of time
first?
and hassle, but I was eventually able to do it. I won't bore you with the details. Nothing was going to erase the humiliation, though. It was also clear that my email had been hacked, which was a much bigger problem. I changed my password and thought I had just gotten super unlucky. That's when things got worse.
Oh,
About 1 week later, I woke up to being logged out of Snapchat. That only happens when someone else logs in, which meant I had gotten hacked there too.
Yeah, I've been
I
there.
don't even want to think about what
Somebody
they
hacked
found.
mine before.
There was a lot of stuff on my Snapchat I don't feel comfortable talking about.
No, I
I
don't have
called
a
the
lot of
police,
stuff on my
told them
Snapchat.
everything, and to my surprise, Ben agreed to let them question him. The police were able to confirm that Ben wasn't behind any of it. He did, however, admit that he posted my private information on some online forum right after we broke
Man,
up.
fuck
He
Ben.
swore he never posted any of my passwords, but my passwords were easy to guess, and like an idiot, I used the same password for everything.
Yeah.
The police told me that there wasn't much
Well, you
they could
fucking
do.
up too. Like,
Ben wasn't responsible for the hacking. That's when the full gravity
he
of the
posted your
situation hit me.
personal information.
Someone else had basically all of my private information. They could probably blackmail me. I changed my passwords immediately, but it might have been too late by then. A few weeks went by and nothing happened. My best guess is that whoever was tormenting me realized I had gotten the police involved and didn't want to risk being caught. I thought that was the end of it. Of course, it wasn't. One day, some random person added me on Snapchat, which wasn't too unusual. When I added them back, though, they started sending me pictures of me. I'm sure you can guess the types of things they were sending. I blocked them before they could
Oh,
threaten
you had
me,
naked
which I'm
pictures
sure
of
they were
yourself?
about to do. I burst into tears. I've never felt more helpless in my life. For about a week, random profiles would add me on Snapchat. I knew it was the same person, and I never accepted their ads out of fear that they would blackmail me or ask for money. This has been ongoing for about a week now, and I don't know what to do. There's literally no evidence or any way I can track this person. The police don't have enough information to get involved, and it's not like they could do anything anyway. The worst part
They
is
can't
literally
track
know
those
my address and
profiles?
whatever else about my personal life. If I keep ignoring their Snapchat ads, they might do something drastic. They've already lurked outside my apartment. I wouldn't put it past them to go further.
Yeah,
I'm praying
that's
that they get bored
crazy.
and just quit. For any young ladies listening, be careful about what kind of pictures are on your phone. I don't know if this will ever end.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but don't take pictures of yourself with your phone. like I would say, hell, don't take pictures. Take Polaroids. Like take Polaroid pictures of yourself. Don't take pictures of yourself. Have them on your phone. That's crazy. Cause he like, oh, I hope they just give up and just like I guess quit. They've been to your house or your apartment. I don't think they gonna quit. Like to go to the effort to come to you, and it's like I feel like that's above and beyond, and I don't think they gonna quit. And then it's like you said that the police can't do anything. Can't they track those profiles? If you think like, hey, I think these profiles might be from the people. Now they could be just random profile. I get bot like trying to follow me all the time, like on Instagram and stuff like that. Heck, I follow people that I don't know on Snapchat, but I don't use Snapchat like that. I don't even take pictures of myself or like post videos and anything like that on Snapchat. So ain't nothing you can use there. But it's I feel like it's like, oh, he didn't do anything. Her boyfriend, he didn't do anything wrong. He posted your personal information online to get back at you because he was upset about the breakup. Like, how is that not doing anything wrong? I was like, what state are you in? Because I feel like that should be deemed as it's something illegal. And then maybe it's like more of a misdemeanor or something like that. But still, like come on, you posted somebody's personal information online, and it's like hey, I didn't do any of this. I didn't, you know, send you anything or been trying to like black. Or I guess they said they haven't street blackmail, but they think that is leading up to that. But they keep blocking the accounts. They keep trying to follow them. Like that is or I guess befriend them. That is like I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what to do. Oh man. But anyway, hope you enjoyed my reaction. One, if you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.